So welcome everybody. I'm going to give all 5 minutes to join and get in here and give you a little spiel about what we're doing today. 5 minutes to gather up all your supplies if you're joining me, which I think more people join me than I actually realize, because after the feed is over and I go into quality crafts, within like the week after, I start seeing a trickle in of all kinds of variations to the challenge, or not the challenge, but it is a weekly challenge at Quality Crafts, of course. But there's these techniques that I'm showing you, so that's super fun. I love seeing what you guys make. There's always a different take on mine. You don't ever have to do everything exactly the way I do. It's super fun to see all kinds of other stuff going on. So hey Naomi, thanks for joining. Good afternoon. So like I said, 5 minutes for us to prepare. I came on about a minute behind, I think, because I was getting everything set up and changing the thumbnail real quick so you could see what we're doing. I'm not sure how long you guys can see the thumbnail for, but I do know it kind of hangs out there in the beginning. I don't know. I'm not seeing everything the same way you guys are seeing it. So Peter Pan is here, Sharon, Jody, hi Susan. Pat's here, Stamp Girl, Satomi, Barmy Nan, Sandy, I'll call you Sandy, Christy, Sheila, yay, the Crazy Crafter is here, Satomi and Lisa Sharp. So chime in, let us know where you guys are all from. I'm in the frozen tundra of Wisconsin right now. Although it's been a pretty mild winter, I can't complain. We do have about maybe 6 inches of snow on the ground. From the last big snowfall. Hi, Teresa. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. If you haven't already gone over to Quality Crafts, it's a non-drama, non-commitment community of crafters who have come from my channel and are joining over there. Everyone is welcome, but please do friend me before you jump in if you can. Let me know that you found the group through this channel. Because that way I can get you added quicker. Sometimes when your profiles are unfinished, it looks like it might be a spam or a scam profile, and I try not to let those people in because I don't want that to affect the fun of the group that's inside. So, things that we're going to do today, we're going to do the crackle paint with Elmer's glue. So what you're going to need is Elmer's glue, of course, or any kind of regular school glue. Any kind of dark paint and a light paint. Doesn't matter what color, but you need the dark paint for underneath and the light paint for on top. I chose melted chocolate, and this is just, I have a little bit left of this one. It's called Magnolia White. It's not quite a white, it's more of an off-white. And then of course you need a paintbrush to paint that on. I'm going to put it on white cardstock. And then I have a couple other colored cardstocks and a stamp and a scissor because I'm going to add some embellishments to my card. This is the card that I originally made for the live stream today. It's got the crackle that we're going to create right here in the middle on that little piece. And then I made it a happy birthday card by just putting this piece of vellum on here and then a couple of these leaves. Now we might not make the exact same card. As a matter of fact, I know we won't because my card base is going to be on craft cardstock instead of the dark brown today. And it might just be a little bit different than this. So we'll just go with it and see what comes out of it. I may use this stamp today. You're going to be seeing this in another live stream eventually. We'll just see what comes of it. So we've got about a minute left. Looks like we have, oh, Kelly's here. Hi, Kelly. And Lisa, Susan, Dana came, Stamp Girl, Nicola. Cheers, guys. I have totally fallen off the wagon as far as drinking Diet Mountain Dew this weekend, but I plan on sticking to it during the week for sure. It's just really tough. I'm totally addicted to this stuff. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. I really do like that card, too. I like it when we can make stuff that's not always, because I am addicted to bright, bold colors, if you know anything about me. Here's the inside of it. And to do more of these natural looking cards and not, as many colors and things, it's not difficult for me, but it's not something that I swing towards automatically and naturally. And you'll find that out in your own, as you know, become your own artist. You decide, you know, what you like and what things just flow from each person differently is what I'm trying to say. And you are the artist, so take this technique for what it's worth, tweak it and change it and make it uniquely your own and create your own art from that. And if you're so inclined, join us over at Quality Crafts. We would love to see what you're making. So I'm going to start out with the white cardstock. And I'll move a few of these other things out of the way. And our darkest color of paint. And I'm using acrylic paints. Oh, by the way, I said that you could get this cheap apple barrel paint at Joann's or something. But if you go to Walmart, this apple barrel paint is literally 50 cents a bottle. So that makes it accessible to pretty much everyone, I would think. Unless you can't get to the store for whatever reason. So all we're going to do with the dark paint is just squeeze some of it on. And you'll kind of get the feel for it as you do this, how much paint you want on there. I want just enough to cover and make a nice coating over the whole of this 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card front panel. I have a little bit more than I wanted, but that's okay. I'm just going to keep swiping it and making it a little bit darker as the layers dry. Acrylic paint tends to dry really quickly if you've ever played around with it. If it doesn't dry quick enough, then we'll just grab our heat gun and we'll just hurry it along. And then off to my side here I have my rinse well, which I've shown you before. If you follow me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, let me know if you want to see it. And I will show you what I'm using. It's hard to show the whole thing because it's quite large. I'm just using up the rest of the paint that I have loaded in this brush here. And we're going to let that dry. That looks like chocolate, doesn't it? Yum yum. A lot of people say that crafting is delicious, and now this is a prime example of what they're talking about. I'm going to grab my heat gun, and I am going to hurry this along so that we can put the next layer on. Super incredible to me how fast this stuff really dries. You can see a little bit on the bottom where it's still shiny and it's a little bit wet, but for the most part you can speed this up really pretty fast. It does look like chocolate. I'm going to use the same brush because I rinsed it out, but if you don't have a chance to rinse, use another brush for your next color. And so here's the trick of it. You want to take your lighter color and you want to put a layer on top. Okay? You don't want that layer to dry before you get the Elmer's glue on top of it. So I'm going to put this on and I'm going to smear it out. You know, paint it out, brush stroke it out until it's evenly coated, but I'm not going to let it dry. And before it dries, then I'm going to take my Elmer's glue and I'm going to paint that over the top of the paint, the wet paint. Okay, I want to make that clear. I've never tried it over the top of dry paint, but I imagine the effect wouldn't work. I've also tried, and I'll show you a couple of my attempts. I've also tried this using the glue and the paint mixed together and paint it on, and that does not work. So let's start with the light color. Mine says it's white, but it's more of a cream. And I found that the less you use, I've been told that the more you use, the better. But I found that the less you use is better, especially so less paint less glue. Yeah, I'm almost out of this one. So like I said, I'm going to get my glue ready because this is going to go on right away after this is done. So I'm just going to make a little pile here so I don't have to wait for it. And you don't need a real lot. That should be enough. So here I go, spreading this out. And I'm using the same brush. I'm not even going to wait. I'm just going to dip it right into that glue and make sure that glue goes over the top of all this. I'm not an expert at this. This is just something I think is super fun. I've only done a few trials of this beforehand, so I'm totally doing a lot of exploration and experimentation with you guys. So I really hope that this one turns out as phenomenal as some of my practice ones did, just so that you can see how well it can turn out. I'm just rinsing out my brush really quick because I don't want it to sit with that glue in it for too long. And then I'm going to set it aside. So we've got, you can see that it's glossy and still wet. Now I'm going to speed up the process by adding heat to it. You can just let it sit, I believe. I've not tried that, but I'm going to add heat to it and speed this up. So here we go. I'm going to clue you in just a little bit so that you can see what's happening here. If you get super close, you can see where it bubbled up there. The paint will bubble if you get it super hot. And you know what? I think I did this in reverse. I think I was supposed to put the paint down, the glue down first with the paint on top. Silly me. Let me show you what it should like and then it should look like, and then we'll do it again. There's a lot of texture in here that you can see, but it didn't crackle because I did it the wrong way. And most of you guys who are like, oh, I've totally done this before and she really wrecked it and made a mistake. Well, I did make a mistake. However, there's a lot of really fun texture in here that's kind of cool that I might ink over later and create something else out of. Do you see that? So yeah, I totally messed that up, but we're not going to throw that out. We're going to use that later. Here's what it should have looked like. And I made notes on here. So this was less glue and less paint, and I got a lot more crackle out of it. This one was the one that I mixed the paint together with the glue and painted it on. Even on this one, you can tell that there's not even any real texture like the one we just did. It's just flat kind of paint. And then the other one, this one was heavy glue, heavy paint. And that's probably making totally no sense to you guys right now. Let me back out a bit. So we're going to try it one more time, and I'm going to do it the right way this time. But this one was the one that I did light glue, light paint. And this one I did heavy glue, heavy paint. Can you tell the difference? I just feel like I got a lot more of the texture and the crackle on the lighter side than I did the heavier side. So let's do this again. Brown first. I think I put on too much last time, so let's just not go crazy with this. Okay, I'm going to put down a pretty heavy dark layer here. So one thing that I don't want you guys to do or think you have to do is do everything exactly the way I do. Experiment with things on your own. Make them your own. This is not about copying me because I'm the best or I'm the, I don't know what you call. I'm a teacher and I'm a sharer, but I'm definitely not the best. I'm a jack of all trades. And what I'm really trying to say is that I am deeply, deeply, my deep belief is that art should be accessible to everyone. And so that's why I share. And that's why I share a lot of beginner stuff, not beginner stuff in the way that only beginners can come, but in a way that you can say, oh, I've been doing this forever and I forgot about that technique, or I've been doing this forever and that's one of my favorites and I really enjoy watching it. And then, of course, for the beginners, so that they can go, wow, I'm learning new stuff all the time. That's the point of it all. So now let's do this the correct way. Let's flip this around. Put our paint on the side. I have extra paint on the side. I'm just trying to use this up. Nope, that one's done for. Let's open another one. This one is just regular white from Apple Barrel. Should be pretty much the same stuff. Okay. So now we're going to put down a thin coat of glue. And I just put enough wrinkles to go over the whole thing. And my brush is kind of still brown. My water is just not clearing up as good. I'm going to grab another brush. This one looks good. This one's much smaller. I'm not happy with that. I'm just going to rinse this one out again. Alright, now we're going to go and put the glue down. Here we go. So play around with how many big strokes and little strokes you do. Play around with how much glue you add. Play around with how much paint you add. I'm just grabbing the paint now and painting this right over the top. You don't want to do too many strokes when you're doing the paint because you want it to go over the top of the glue, and that's it. That's good enough. Now let's try this again. See if we get a better turnout. There's another thing I want to experiment with when we're done here. I'll let you know. Let me clue you in here. And let's see the magic happen. It's already starting to happen. You can kind of see it on the edges. Here we go. Look at that crackle come out. That is so cool. I think that's even better than the last ones I did. So the whole point of putting the dark color underneath is so that dark color will show through. So if you want to put a color underneath, not just brown. Oh, I think this one turned out even better than my examples. Look at the difference. Oh, I gotta back you up a bit. I have a coat on. I don't go anywhere without one long sleeve. Well, actually, not when I'm at home, but typically I don't go anywhere without a t-shirt or a tank, a long sleeve shirt, a jacket, and then a winter coat. So yeah, when I go to work and when I'm just sitting around, I usually have 2-3 layers on. I am the body that is always, always cold. I do have my pajama bottoms on though. I mean, it just wouldn't be a live stream with Quality Crafts without the pajama bottoms. And I have on, I don't do mornings with the big moose. But look at the difference in my two. I don't know what I did different today. This is what I'm saying. Like, go and take this and just go nuts. Look at the crackle I got today. It's way better than the crackle I got before. I mean, what? I don't know what the difference is. I keep playing with this, and every time I play with it, I get something different. Yep, you can put whatever color you want on the bottom and whatever color you want on the top. So let's try another color. I don't have another color prepared. I was going to do a full card for you. But I think we should have time to squeeze that in. I moved all my paint though, so if you don't mind giving me a moment, I'm going to grab like, what did she say? Tenzert says, how about painting some lighter brown, gray, or orange color on the top? What could I do? I don't know that I have orange, but I could mix white and brown and make a tan if you wanted to try that. Let me grab my paint. I'm not too far away, just in the crafty room. I have no idea if you can hear me from back there, but I'm guessing so. Yeah, I mean, depending on your brush strokes and all that, it always turns out different. So how about if we put, this is pretty. How about if we put magenta as our underneath coat? And then, you know, for like, because it's, and then this pink on the top, pink pearl, and see if that works. That's kind of a Valentine-y combination, isn't it? Should we give it a shot? I'm really glad that that turned out differently, because it turned out even better than the ones I did before. My opinion. I mean, you might not think so, but I mean, that's the whole thing. Really, everybody has their own likes and dislikes. I mean, I might look at one thing and go, that's hideous, like truly hideous. I don't like it. It's not my personal style. Another person might look at it and go, that's amazing. Like, that is totally me. And you feel it. And, you know, it just comes from inside of you, and you just, wow. So don't think that you have to like, you know, everything that everyone else likes. You just have to like what you like. We would not be able to call ourselves artists if we just copied and liked what everyone else does, you know? Art has to come from within. That's pretty. Look at that bright color. I keep going over the top because sometimes it darkens the color. It definitely spreads out the paint so it dries faster. That is going to be so cool. There's a lot of paint left on the top of my brush there. I'll try to get some of that off of there. All right. I should have refilled my water well, because darn, I'm running out of water, guys. Okay. We're going to have to heat that up. I thought this was going to be even a darker color, because look at that on, I guess it is pretty close. I could do 2 layers, but let's keep it moving. So I hope you guys are paying attention to the chat and all of the other awesome ideas that people are throwing in for effect, because sometimes people that are watching have done this a lot more than I have, and they have really good input to share. So then we're going to put this light pink, which is a Martha Stewart. I think I bought a whole like kit of, it wasn't a kit, but it's like you get a whole bunch of different colors all in one box from Martha Stewart, and they were all pearlized because I was just in love with that. So here's a nice pearlized, light pearly pink. And the glue goes on first, right? Kelly, that is a really good question. I want to try Mod Podge as the glue to see what happens. But before I do that, I do want to stick with what we know here to see how this turns out, and then I'm going to try Mod Podge. And we're going to see if any glue will do this technique, because I really don't know, I'll be honest. So smear out that glue. I mean, now I'm going to do these little short brush strokes like this, ting, 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 and see if that makes a difference, because I don't know if it does, but here we go. Light pink over the top. Light pearly pink. I have a feeling that those brush strokes might make a big difference. So let's just keep playing with it and see what we get. Yeah? It already looks like it's, you can see all those brush stroke bumps, right? Do you see that? I don't know how this is going to turn out. Let me get some of my glue rinsed out here so that doesn't get stuck in my brush. Clean this out of the way. I'm a kind of clean as you go kind of person, so that at the end I'm not going nuts cleaning up. All right, let's give this a shot. Let's see what happens. It does work without the heat tool, I think, if you let it sit and dry overnight. I'm really impatient though. I don't see any crackle happening here, guys. I don't know if it's a difference between the pearlized paint or because of the little tiny brush strokes. What would happen if while this is wet we stuck a stamp in it? Oh, that's kind of cool. Look at that. Hi, Mimi. I'm glad you could come. I'm just wiping the paint off of that stamp because it's stuck to like one little part of it. But it's just acrylic paint and glue, so I don't think it's going to harm it at all. Well, that turned out kind of cool. It didn't crackle though, so I don't know if it's just that pearlized paint won't crackle over the top of glue. It's interesting though, huh? Thank you, Satomi, for going over what we're doing for the people that are just able to join now. I really appreciate that. We're doing some experimentation to the Elmer's glue. I'm almost out of water here. This kind of stinks. We want to try now and see if only Elmer's glue works or if any kind of base glue will work. So I'm going to try to attempt it using what we know works, the brown and the white, because it might be just that the pearlized paint doesn't react to this effect. I'm not sure. I really don't know. Now there are other ways that you can do crackle. What did I do with my other crackle thing? You can actually buy a paint for crackling. Well, it's not a paint. This is what it looks like. This is one of them. There are many. This is a DecoArt one-step crackle. And basically what it says is to apply evenly over any painted design or plain base coated surface with a soft brush and let dry for 2 to 4 hours. But I don't know. I did do an experiment with this and I don't know where I put it, to be honest. So it didn't crackle at all because I rushed it with the glue gun. And it doesn't say whether or not your base coat has to be wet or dry. And like we found out here is that it really does need to be wet. And the base coat needs to be dry, and then the glue and the glue and then the paint on top has to be wet, correct? To make this work out. So base coat darker than whatever you're going to put on top. Let it dry. Then the glue, and then your lighter paint on top of the glue. And then you can heat gun it to the end so it crackles and you're done. The reason why I really like doing it this way is because I don't have the patience. I don't want to wait overnight for crackle to happen, guys. I want crackle right now. So that's why I really, really enjoy this one. I like to see it happening. I like the instant gratification. So let's dry this off, and then we'll try this with our Mod Podge. Okay, our glue is going to go on and our light is going to go on the top. So I'm going to pour out the light white that we're going to use for the top. And I'm going to get out the Mod Podge because we're going to do Mod Podge this time instead of Elmer's glue and see how this works out. I think I'm just going to go ahead and pour this on the table too. So I don't want to use that much, but I don't want to get it all. I don't want to get too much right on that brown piece of paper. This way I have total control about how much glue goes on there and how much doesn't. Okay, so glue first. One thing with the Mod Podge, it's a lot more watery than the other glue, than the Elmer's. All right, and then the paint over the top. I'm barely touching the glue because I want that paint to just coat and go right over the top of that. Rinse a little bit of that glue and paint out of my brush on the side, and then let's heat this and see if we get any crackle with Mod Podge this time. So we definitely got, look at that, we definitely got crackle. I think I could have put a lot more paint over the top. But this is going to be another really fun panel because it's unique. But we did get some crackle. Not quite the same as the other one that we got crackle on before. Ooh, I put out way too much stuff here. Let me grab another paper towel. Maybe we want to leave that and try another color. What do you think? Let's try another one of these panels, only without brown on the bottom. And we'll try the Mod Podge again and see if we can get a different look. It's Mod Podge. Yep, and the Mod Podge is definitely thinner than the Elmer, so maybe I'll put more glue on versus less. So this is the Mod Podge one. And this was the Elmer's. See the difference? Huge difference. Maybe, I mean, several factors could go into play as to why it didn't turn out as good. Let's try that again. You guys want to vote for what color goes underneath? Last time we did magenta, but I've got an orange. I've got a green. I kind of want to stick with a dark color. I think that's it for those colors. For that kind. Or I have a bright yellow. So orange, green, or yellow. I mean, yellow is not a dark color, but... Cheers, guys. Thanks for being here. I didn't even think about black, Jamie Hunt and Sharon Ludlow. Maybe I should grab just a black card base and try that. So let's do this. Let's just try real quickly at just a black base and see what happens when we put it directly on there. I have like chocolate milk water right now. And I'm out of water. So let's do the glue. And then the white paint. And just do it right on this black background while you guys are deciding whether or not you want me to do another one with that color. I'm going to add more glue this time. And see if that is going to make any difference. It's really, maybe I should have taped this one down. All right, white paint over the top. That looks pretty good. Okay, here we go. This is the Mod Podge that was still on our craft sheet, so this is not Elmer's. Wow, look at the difference. Like I was saying, I mean, I don't know if I'm doing things different every time, but man, every time I do it, it comes out different. This is the Mod Podge. This was also the Mod Podge, but do you see I put on a thicker layer on this one? I should probably mark these, because I will forget. So let me pull out a little black marker here. Oops, that's not the one I was thinking I was grabbing. That's what happens when you clean your space and you put things away. You can't find it. I put it in a safe spot, and then I probably forgot where that safe spot was. So this is, I'm just going to put Mod Podge thin. And this one was a Mod Podge, and it was thick. And I should have a white gel pen. It should be sitting right here, and I don't see it. I try to be organized for you guys, you know, but craftiness is always just a work in progress, isn't it? There's one. So this one is Mod Podge, and this was a thicker layer. And I didn't put any paint underneath this one. I just used black cardstock, and there's the difference. We had a little crackling on the brown and a lot of crackling on the black. You know what, Corinne, I hope I'm not saying that wrong. Let's try that. She suggested that we put the pearlescent over the top of the black cardstock and see if that works. Here was our first try with the pearlescent paint over the top of another color paint. It didn't crackle, so I stamped my leaves into it. That was our first try. Let's grab another piece of black cardstock. Good thing I have bases cut already. We might be going over today, and this was one of the things that I thought was going to go by super, super quickly, and that we would have been done with it by now. So we probably won't get to making the card today, but as long as we're having fun experimenting, I hope you don't mind me making the executive decision to just continue, because you are bringing up some really, really good ideas. Right? No such thing as a safe spot. You put it away, you forget where it was. So black and pearlescent. I'm going to do the pink pearlescent again just for, you know, scientific sake, to make sure we're using the same color, the same kind. And I'm going to need again some more blue. Oh, I should ask, do you want me to do Elmer's on this with the pearlescent? Or do you want me to do Mod Podge and the pearlescent? So it's going to be glue and then paint. So I'll put some of this down. That doesn't look to be enough to me. I could be wrong. Oh, whoa, okay, overdid it. Overkill, my problem. All right. So Sharon, I'd watch all day. You're funny. Okay, so we're going to use Elmer's on this one, not Mod Podge. So here we go. Do I need to back out a little bit, or am I okay? Maybe just a tad. Did I close this? I must have. There we go. There he comes. Gotta clean off my brush a little bit. Okay, there's the glue, and now we're going to go pink pearlescent over the top. And I'll rinse that out a little bit before we dry it here, but I might have put the paint on a little too thick. It's so very, very see-through. I didn't want it to be nothing. I don't know. Maybe I think it's just the pearlescent paint. I almost started to get cracks right here. Come on, camera, help us out. Do you see the feathering we got there on the end? I really thought it was going to start cracking there, and then I really got a crack like right there, and then it died out. I can't get that to come in really. There. See where it cracked and then it stopped. I'm just not having any luck with that pearlescent paint. I think maybe it's just the paint itself that doesn't want to crackle with that technique. So let's see. What was the one that we were going to do before then? We were going to change a color of some sort. I'm not going to keep that one. And I'm going to get rid of this paint because I just don't think this paint works. That's just my... That's... What do you say? I'm thinking about science terms. I interpret for 8th grade and we're doing, you know, labs and all the scientific stuff. Yeah, Elmer's glue is really inexpensive and you can get it almost anywhere. But as we've seen, it works with Mod Podge as well. You just got to play around with it. Well, hi, Kathy Dunahee. Thanks for joining us. If you guys don't know, if you're new to the channel, Kathy Dunahee is the person that does all the swaps over at our Quality Crafts page. She handles all of that. She handles sending you guys birthday cards on your birthday on behalf of Quality Crafts. And she's typically in on all the live streams too, watching and taking down names and stuff, because every Thursday when we do live streams from 6 to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we pick a winner. Sundays we don't. Sundays are for the challenges for the week, and our challenges run from Sunday to Sunday. So if you use a crackle technique of any kind, just do crackle. It could be, you know, the Elmer's glue. It could be Mod Podge. It could be that you bought something to, you know, make it crackle like this one. Anything crackle, you can join in and put a picture in the album and be thrown in for the prizes that we draw during the week. And she handles drawing those prizes and sending them out as well. That's over at Quality Crafts, and it's on Facebook, and everyone is welcome. So if you're not over there already, we would encourage you to come over. There's no drama and no commitment, and there's no participation police there. So no one's going to look in to see if you've commented or if you've joined this swap or that swap or the challenge and then boot you out if you're not. It's a place, it's supposed to be a comfortable, safe place for everyone to come in, be your own artist, and then inspire others and become inspired. And it's just really a fun place to hang out. So you are invited. And so the next thing that we want to do is just take a drink because I'm getting kind of dry. So cheers, everyone. There was one other thing that you guys wanted to see done, and I thought it was something that Karen had said, but now I can't remember. Otherwise, if there's not another experimentation you want to see, I've got 10 minutes left to put together a card with one of those pieces, which I really totally love this one. Love how this turned out. So while you're deciding, I think I'm going to just give this a little bit more of a dry, because I'd really like to use this one. Well, Kathy, if doctor's orders were for you to lay down, I hope you're at least on the couch watching. Hey, just as long as we're having this conversation about Kathy Dunahee, she has been ill if you didn't know. And so while you're sending her that get well card, throw in a couple of extra stamps so that she, because she pays for all of those birthday cards and all those prizes and everything that we send you from Quality Crafts out of her own pocket. So that is always a super helpful thing to do. So get well with a couple extra stamps to Kathy Dunahee. That would really help out. Excellent question. Corinne wants to know, would ink go over the top of a dried crackle glue? What's on top is really another acrylic paint. So yes, I think that you could totally ink that acrylic paint and it would be just fine. So do that. That would be really cool. I really want to use this panel right here. Ooh, I have another thing to share with you guys. I get a lot of questions where I got this little trimmer from. This little Fisker's trimmer, and although it looks different, you can get this almost exact trimmer at Walmart for like $8. I think it's like $8.50. I got mine from Savers. You see, I saw the sticker on it. Savers is like a Goodwill here, and it was only $1.99. But this almost the exact same thing, if you're looking for it, our Walmart carries it right in the little craft aisle. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off of the ends, the sides and stuff of this, because I know this was a regular A2 size card front size. So it was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So if I cut off a little on each side, it's going to fit in the center of a A2 size card really well. And I'm going to use this one right here that I have this card base already prepared. I should probably swing out for this one. Yes, please do try other glues and let me know. I love to learn too. So today we used regular Elmer's glue, and then we also used Mod Podge. I would think Aleene's tacky glue would work really well, although I've not tried it yet. So this would make a nice little panel here. That's cool. I think I'm going to put that straight down on there. I just love the look of that. Kathy's address can be found in the file on Quality Crafts over on Facebook. So if you're a part of our group, you have access to that. If you're not a part of our group, I would private message Kathy Dunahee on Facebook and privately ask her for that information if you're planning on sending something to her. Our Walmart really doesn't have much either. I was kind of shocked to actually find the few things there that I needed. There was a lot of stuff they didn't have though. So I guess it's just hit and miss. Because like there's people that post on all the time about all the fun stuff that they find at their Dollar Tree. Like, oh, my Dollar Tree carries stamps and my Dollar Tree carries these fun kind of stickers and this other kind of stuff. And every time I go, they never have it. And I'm in a big city. I'm in Madison. So I would think that they would have it. And then when they don't, I'm just like, wow, really? I'm not going to use these two today. I was going to. That's what these panels were for. One panel was to go on here, and I might still do that. But I'm going to skip these, and I'm going to do this butterfly instead, because I think this would look really, really cool. And I have a piece of vellum here. I'm almost positive. I have to search for it, of course, because it's not going to jump out at me right now. Ugh. All right. I'm not seeing it. I'll just grab another piece. Can't find it. I'm going to stamp this on a piece of vellum. But I'm going to stamp it in a dark brown instead of a black. And this is really like thick vellum. I don't know where I got this. This is super thick. That's weird. Anyway, this is the one I want to stamp it on. I'm going to do it in a dark brown to kind of mimic the dark brown that we have in the background. And I'm going to use this one by close to my heart. It's called Cocoa. I also have the one that's called Chocolate, but this is darker. We'll add a butterfly to this one. These are really old inks, so I always look to see if I've actually got coverage. Plus, this is not a flat surface, so yeah, it didn't do the center. I kind of figured that would happen. I'm going to ink it up and do one more. Give it one more try, and this time I'm going to put a mouse pad underneath it. And hopefully that'll be a little bit more give. And I'm going to stand up and push in the center. I really want this one to work. Oh, much better. Super nice. Now that is not going to dry instantly, so I might have to dry that off. And I think I will, because I don't want to wait. Another thing you could do if you don't want to wait is put some embossing powder on there and emboss it. Alright, I'm going to cut out this butterfly, so I'm just going to test this on the side here to see if this is dry. And just those really dark edges that you can see there, those are still smearing because that was the most wet. But the rest of the ink is dry, so I'm going to cut this out. So I just want the butterfly. I'm not going to use this one because it didn't turn out. And then, of course, I'm going to save the rest of this vellum for another day. So that will go in my scrap stash. Ooh, we got all kinds of fun stuff coming up for next live streams that I've been playing around with all weekend. I'm super, super, super excited for a couple of them. And now I'm just going to fussy cut this because this is so much fun to watch and do. I mean, if you know me, I absolutely love fussy cutting, but I know some of you guys are like, think it's horrible. But I just love it. And I love the way the projects turn out with things that are fussy cut as well. It can be really, really amazing. So did you guys know that Quality Crafts now has a teeny tiny store open? We have just 3 things. One is the ATG gun tape for the Scotch Advanced Glue Glider, which is the pink one, the big pink one. And And then I've also gotten in some little glue bottles and foam, double-sided foam tape, the one that I always use in my videos that you guys really, really liked. It looks like this. I finally found a distributor where I can get those. So if you hop on over there, you will see those under photographs, and then go to photos, and then go to albums, and then go to Quality Craft Store. So here's our butterfly. And I'm going to kind of bend it right where his body bends. And then just use my finger to, you can use your bone folder too. Where did I hide that? Just pull out with the bone folder from underneath like this to make the wings rounded. And I'll do the same thing for this side. And then bend it up again at the body so that he becomes more three-dimensional like that. Oh, that's really pretty. You know, I'm going to add a little piece of that green. This green color is an olive green, and it is like my most favorite color in the whole world. But I don't want it just that green. I want some brown over the top of it, because I want that to be like my accent color, not the full color of it. So I'm going to put a little bit of brown in between it, like that. And that way this little butterfly will pop even more. And then I'll have a place for a sentiment too. Ooh, and while we're at it, let's add a little twine. I like the look of the twine on the other card that I made. If you weren't here and you missed it, I'm looking for it. I've moved stuff around so many times since we started. Oh, it's right in front of me. Ta-da! Is this one that I made with a tiny panel of the crackle that we created today. Yep, Quality Crafts takes PayPal for sure. That's actually the preferred method. That would be awesome. So yeah, we're going to do this one slightly different, and I am going to add a little bit of twine. I think that would be really fun. I'm going to distress the edge of this too, now that I'm thinking of it. So if you're new to Quality Crafts, and especially if you're new to the store, if you mention that you're coming from my live stream today, and you make your order today, you place an order in the store today, mention that I will give you 30% off of your order if you're a first-time orderer. Say it's my first time ordering, and I saw you on the live stream when you made Crackle, so I'd like 30% off my entire order today. This is going to look so cool. Bye, Jamie. Thanks for joining us. She probably already left because I'm watching all this chat and lag. Yep, you could totally color the butterfly with markers if you want. If you color it on top, they'll be vibrant, and if you color it from behind, they'll be more muted. I'm not going to color mine today though, because I want this to be a real natural looking card, because we have so very few cards we can give to men. And I really think that even with the butterfly, this is a very manly card. So I need to cut a little hole in the top for my string to go through. Just enough for that to come through. There we go. know if you can see that. I just cut a little teeny tiny hole in the top just so that I can make my twine go up and around. So I'm going to make it short on one side so that I can do a little bit of tying. And then I'm going to make this go around twice. I need to go back in there again. There we go. I got her to get through. Okay. And I'm going to bring it down maybe a little bit closer to the bottom and just tie it off. Because I still want my butterfly to go on the top. So I don't want this knot to be exactly right where I'm putting my butterfly. If you have a hard time holding knots like this while you tie, go ahead and use your reverse tweezers that when you open it and you let go, it clamps down and holds it for you. I'm not going to use mine today, but that's a really good way of holding things if you have a hard time tying them. And then I'm just going to cut off the edges. Get a little bit of fray from that. And then put him up on the top. I think I'm going to put him right next to it. So I'm going to do just a little bit of glue. And these are the little bottles that you can find over there that I put my glue in. I don't keep this one upside down, but I probably could. I just put a little bit of glue right there on the center. Should dry clear, so even though we're using this on vellum, you shouldn't see it much of it once it's dry. And what I have in my bottle is just a little bit of Aleene's tacky glue with like 10 drops of water added to it, just so that it waters it down slightly. Depends on how fast or how slow you want it to come out of that tip. That's really cool. Super pretty, and we need a sentiment. Right? We need a sentiment, don't you think? We're a little bit over today. We're at 9 minutes past, so those of you who have stuck around thinking that this was going to be exactly an hour, I apologize. I went over already. I should have stopped at 3 and let you know that I appreciate you being here, and I hope that you will join in the challenge at Quality Crafts using this crackle or any kind of crackle technique that you have of your own that's similar, and join in the fun. We give out prizes, and it's a random draw, so it doesn't matter how good or bad you think you are, even though I know you are all artists. Join in. It's Quality Crafts over at Facebook. So let's find something that we can put on here. Oh, I just totally love this sentiment. Let's use a Made It stamp set and use this sentiment on here. Actually, I love both of these. So one says, be strong and courageous. And the other one says, he will carry you. I think I'm going to go with my first gut instinct and do he will carry you. Because, gosh, don't we need that a lot? I know I do. I need to know that somebody's going to take care of me. I'm looking for that piece of vellum I just threw off. There we go. I'm going to stamp this on here with VersaFine black ink. And then I'm going to make sure it's fully dry so that I can cut it out with a little circle. Sometimes the way he carries you isn't the way you think that he should be carrying you. Sometimes it's just that somebody comes out of the woodwork and sends you a card out of nowhere and tells you that you're awesome. Be that person. Send that card. So let's get this a little bit dried, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. I'm going to do a circle. I'm just feeling a circle coming out of this, so this should be big enough. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Let me get one little bigger one. This one might work. Oh, this one's really big. I don't know. I have a lot of in-between sizes, I guess. Let's see if this will cover it. Oh, it totally will. I can't get into where it's at, though, so I'm going to just cut this out so I can get that punch to go in a little bit further. Oh no, I touched it and got junk all over it now. Let's just make that go closer to the top then. It won't be completely centered, but we'll just get rid of that black because I didn't wait for it to fully dry. Now while we have a minute here, if your name on Facebook is totally different than your name on YouTube, you always want to let Kathy Donahue know on Thursday nights so that you can get in that drawing so that we can find you, because you have to be a member of the Quality Crafts family to be drawn, because all of the addresses and everything are kept on that page, or in that group, I should say. That's going to take a little bit longer for this one to dry, so I'm going to move these out of the way. And I want to put this down on here. It's going to look almost like it's being washed out, but it's not going to hide the crackle. And we're going to test how well you can see this through by just gluing this straight down. Like I said, you can't see the glue underneath that butterfly very well. It's going to dry clear. But let's test that theory and just put a little bit of glue, the tiniest bit of glue all the way around, and see if that works. So I put a teeny tiny bead of glue all the way around. And you can't even see it, and that piece of vellum is going to stay on the card. So can you lay down vellum with glue? Yeah, if you don't use gobs and gobs of it. Right? Don't overdo. But that's really cool. Let me just clean up my space here for just a second, and I'm going to wrap up now. And the way I wrap up my live streams is that I typically show you most of the stuff that I've either done to prepare for the video or we've made during the video, which is this lovely card. And let's go through a little bit of what we learned today. We used Elmer's glue, and I should shut that. And also we tried Mod Podge, and Mod Podge did work. So a glue and then a dark color of acrylic paint on the bottom, and then a light color acrylic paint on the top to get a crackle effect. So this one, heavy glue, heavy paint, Elmer's glue. This one, less glue, less paint, Elmer's glue. So heavy paint, heavy glue, light paint, light glue. Smaller crackles if you use less with the Elmer's glue. And then we tried it with pearlescent paint in a different color, and that did not crackle. The pearlescent didn't crackle, but I stamped it with a couple of leaves, and that looked kind of cool. So you could totally play with that. To find out who won the weekly challenge, you'll have to head over to Quality Crafts, because Kathy handles that. And today is still Sunday, so you've got all of today to enter the challenge from last week. This challenge starts today and that other one ends today. So like you're starting a new one and ending the old one on the same day. So this Crackle one is starting today, but the one from last week is ending today. So you have all day today to still play around with that and enter. And then she always posts the winners in Quality Crafts, but I don't handle that. So you come on back on Monday when she does the drawing, and you'll find out who won. We also tried doing it with just black cardstock. This was Mod Podge, and we put it on really heavy. That turned out really cool. That was Mod Podge, and it's the same result we got on this one. Right? Mod Podge with the thick with the white. That turned out really cool. So Mod Podge thin versus Mod Podge heavy. So you can get a nice look with Mod Podge as well. And then this one was my oopsie in the beginning. I accidentally did the glue second. I accidentally did the paint and then the glue. So I got a lot of really cool funky little textures, but it didn't crackle. So I might use that for something later on. And then just to say that I tried it, I mixed the glue and the paint together and put it on, and it did not crackle. So instead of doing the layers and then the layer and then the layer, I mixed all the paint and the glue together and painted it on to see what happened, and it did not crackle. Not to say that you couldn't try that on your own. You might get something totally different. But that's what we did today, and we ended up with this beautiful card. Right here. So I want to thank everyone who came and took time to hang out with us today. And I hope this was something that you really enjoyed if you already knew it. And if you didn't, I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. And I hope you're now aware of more of what goes on at Quality Crafts. If you have any questions, you can private message me anytime. I'm Jen Evers I'm Jennifer Evers over on Facebook, but you can find me by joining Quality Crafts. That's probably the easiest way to do it. And I can't wait to see you guys next live stream.